Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some tag duels because it's been a while since I showed off any tag duels. I know some of you guys are definitely fans of tag duels, but it's going to show up a mix-up of two decks that really work well with each other, but I'll also give you guys a variant that can kind of play both at the same time. So this is going to be a virus plant deck. It's all about utilizing the viruses, but with the plant stuff, you actually have a lot of synergy, surprisingly, with the Layer of Darkness field spell, allowing you, as a quick effect, be able to tribute your opponent's cards via Saint Teardrop. And with Layer of Darkness, you're going to be able to not only tribute your opponent's cards, but also make Snowflower Saint Teardrop get way OP with the amount of attack. But the main effect is just really that quick play, being able to tribute your opponent's stuff. Plus with cards like Sheet over here, which is for the Snowflowers, you get to tribute a plant monster, then target a face-up monster opponent controls, and the players cannot activate that face-up monster's effect on the field this turn. And if you tributed a monster to activate this card, you get to take control of the targeted monster until the end phase. So that's actually really strong. Not only being able to take away your opponent's stuff, but getting like double effects out of it can be pretty good. Now, as far as the plant stuff goes, if you're wondering like how did they become like dark and stuff, oh, that's very easy. Layer of Darkness converts everything to dark, and you might be thinking, oh, dragon, okay, I've seen this card before. No, we're going for our boy Niels Kluger because it's quite easy in the plant archetype to utilize all of the attachments for, let's say, the Exceed monster or whatever the case may be. A lot of these are just more free special summon cards, so going into Verta Anaconda is quite common, and Niels Kluger is actually a really decent card because it actually brings out another card. Dragon of Red Eyes would probably be more meta, but I'm here to kind of show you guys not necessarily what I would consider like an S tier deck, but it's still definitely a decent deck and it can combat a bunch of stuff. It's really the virus cards that can automatically give you win conditions, but then if you want to control the game a little bit more, you'll have more of a grind game. All of the plant stuff will definitely allow you to go ahead and detach material. And what's really cool with Saint Kenzashi over here is the monster that you tribute when you are using, like, let's say Layer of Darkness or whatever card that you're using, you get to bring back a monster in either player's graveyard and then special summon it. It does lose its effects, and it also becomes a plant monster, which actually helps out later down the line with these effects. And then if a plant monster you control be destroyed destroyed by, just card effect, you get to tribute a plant monster from your hand or field, and you get to keep it up. So if you bring back your opponent's powerful thing, and they try to take it away via, like, you know, destruction, you can actually protect their card. And then since all the materials are already utilized, you can go ahead and activate one of the virus cards once you convert everything to, of course, dark. Let's go ahead and I love these usernames, man. Demonetized all over the board with that word Kappa. But Crush Card Virus is still a decent card, especially when you mix it in with Deck Devi, which you'll see here later down the line. We're seeing some of the New York Kawakuris. I haven't seen Kawakuris in quite some time. Literally since the announcement, people played it for like 2 days and it disappeared. Obviously, the new Master Rule is going to make this deck so much better. I know that they've been kind of struggling because they were a really powerful archetype. But again, the virus is coming through over here, and the virus archetype decks can really make great use in tag duels because you can basically obliterate one person's entire board, with just one of them, and then for the next few turns, the other person just kind of loses out, which is fantastic. But once again, the Teardrop over here, now everything is going to be dark, and on top of that, we have the ability to, as a quick effect, just get rid of one of their cards. So he's going to go ahead and summon one card, and that's just not going to happen at all. He's not going to be able to target that face-up monster and place those Predator plant counters on it. Then he's going to tribute his card to go for the Snowflower Petal, which is actually going to convert everything into dark via Layer of Darkness. But on top of that, he's going to be able to get a free monster out every single turn because this is what this card does, as long as you control only plants or no monsters. So he's going to go ahead and activate one of the virus cards over here, and that pretty much destroys a lot of potential comebacks for certain decks, because when you do Crush Card Virus or Eradicator Epidemic in combination with, let's say, a Deck Devastation Virus, any combination of like two of those really just slows down your opponent significantly. And again, the whole goal is to go into the plant Exceed and then just start as a quick effect tributing your opponent's stuff. So you can just be like, okay, I'm just going to tribute your monster, and then on top of that, you're going to gain bonus attack every single time that you do that. You will give your opponent a token, and he draws into the Protoplasm, but again, the virus is just going to immediately stop it. And it's been a while since I've covered a virus deck, I would say. I remember when Crush Card got the errata and, like, you know, there's multiple people were freaking out, but it's just really not that good just alone. I think the best options, it's kind of matchup dependent, but if you use Epidemic Virus on your opponent, they can instantly lose. Again, if you just call spells, or if you guess against Altergeist, you just call traps. And you'll be good to go. Heck, Deck Devastation Virus shuts down so many decks. Anything that's 1500 or less attack, which you guys will see later, it's just, I won't spoil it, but it wins. It's just like a flip up virus, you win. And so he's just gonna be like, okay, I can't really deal with that. This is one matchup over here where Deck Devastation Virus, yeah, anything 1500 or less attack automatically gets destroyed, so one player will not be able to play in this tag duel. But we're gonna go ahead and see the Deep Sea archetype. I like this showcasing of replays here too, because it's not the same stuff that you guys have seen, Sky Strikers, Orcus variants, for the most part. Those have been just so popular for the longest time. But nonetheless, or Salamangreat, heck, Salamangreat's still super popular. I run into that deck all the time. Dinos are still very popular as well, but I just want to showcase off again other decks here, and again show you guys some tag duels. But we see that Layer of Darkness over there, because White Howl over here negates the effects of all spell effects on your opponent's field, but that's just one turn. It doesn't matter because it's continuous anyway. So he's going to go ahead and summon the Murphy Cat. Going to go ahead and make the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon over here with that Super Poly, because everything becomes dark, making Super Poly really, really alive pretty much at all times. And we see Deck Devastation Virus, and that completely makes that guy unplayable. Like, you really can't play Murphy's because, well, everything... I want to say everything in the archetype, minus the extra deck, which obviously they're not going to get to. The Deck Devastation Virus, yeah, good luck trying to do too much with that deck if this goes off. Then we also have Quarantine. I almost feel like this is a meme for, you know, what's going around right now. The viruses, we got the Quarantine, but this card over here is a continuous spell card that says once per turn during the end phase, you can target a set spell trap your opponent controls, and you get to reveal it, then return it to its original position. I think this card is just there for, of course, memes, but nonetheless, I mean, it does let you reveal kind of what cards your opponent has, so you can get a better Eradicator Epidemic Virus, but for the most part, I would probably not recommend this card. But it is just during the end phase, so you can technically get, like, you know, once during your turn, and then you know exactly what deck that they're playing. But again, I think if this card had the effect of once per turn during any, during the, main phase of either player's turn, you can activate it or something, then it would be much better, because then you can get the effect immediately. So you can, you know, reveal something before you, let's say, summon a monster or whatever the case may be. But we do have it up against what I would consider a little bit more meta. There's DDDs, which are absolutely insane. It's just that no one really knows how to play the deck very well for the most part. I think that that deck is still, again, very strong. But we got the Neos Wiseman over here. Once again, going to go ahead and summon that Neos Kluger. You could probably drop this card if you wanted to. It's just kind of a cool tech card, and I just like seeing off-meta stuff once in a while here on the channel. But once again, DDD is quite a great archetype, but that Super Polymerization is also a great card, because once everything becomes dark, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is just going to go ahead and say... no, because once this card is destroyed, you can destroy all of your opponent's special summon monsters, so he's going to go ahead and go for the Needle Fiber. I know the name's different than TCG, but I feel like everyone still calls it that, but nonetheless, viruses are going to be coming out. We got the Full Force Virus on top of that, and then any monster with 1500 or less defense is absolutely going to get destroyed as well. The DDs, there are some weaker ones. I mean, technically this would be one card that they like to go for a lot too. But a lot of the times, once this goes off, it's pretty much game over. And once we see the Super Poly activated, another Starving, and this is going to be stopped here, but it doesn't really matter. We go for it, the Crush card of Virus. And then we're going to go see the Full Force Virus. So the virus is coming out. You can see he just lost everything. And again, that's why the viruses are so insane. Yeah, he's going to get 2 extra cards, but what do those 2 extra cards do? Pretty much nothing. That's a no effect, man. So he's going to go ahead and get rid of both of those. Layer of Darkness is going to go ahead and proc its effect. And then he's got the Allure. Is he going to Allure? That's the question. He goes for it and gets nothing. But he's going to go ahead and have that Celestial and go for those extra cards with the DDDs. That's why I like tag duels. Sometimes you see some crazy plays like that. You're like, what? He's going to be coming back. Let me see Bottoms. I haven't seen that card in quite some time as well. But Starting Venom Fusion Dragon is still out. So once this card goes away, he's going to lose everything on his side of the board that is special summon. But he needs to get rid of Kluger as well. And he's just like, well, I can't really do too much. Because you can't, you can't special monsters except for DDDs, not that it matters, but he still has to deal with this and that. And we also have Frozen Roars over here. And then last one over here. Let's go and check out this one. This is versus the Red Nova. This was actually something that was popular for like a full solid week. I remember everyone busting out that card. I mean, the Synchro has an insane effect where its effect is literally banish everything. Like, it's so insane. When you don't know what to do against it. But we're seeing the Ballista Squad activated, so we're going to be able to tribute one monster and then get rid of another card, which in this case was the Contract. So like this card is really good with, of course, Layer of Darkness. That basically is a +1 and it's, you know, live most times in the entirety of the duel. It almost reminds me of like the, what is it? Treacherous Trap Hole back in Duel Links. Like that card was so strong for the longest time. But we still got the Impermanence, we got Super Poly, we're going to see that Extravagance activated, and that Lilith is going to go ahead and get that 1,000 points of damage in, and then Layer of Darkness is going to activate its effects. But now the DDD player might have an opportunity to go for something. He's going to go ahead and get rid of the Compulse, but that wasn't the right target because Super Poly will still be here, but there's no card to discard yet. We also still happen to have Impermanence, and he's just going to go ahead and set a Ballista Squad, so at any point, it's not going to be too good for him because he's going to be losing out on double monsters. But we're going to also see the Darling Cobra over here going for that Neos Fusion. And then Rainbow Neos coming out, shuffling everything back. I thought that was a really spicy tech. Again, this is more for fun duels than anything. But I think that you can make this deck a little bit better. Again, you just have to make some changes in the main deck as well as the extra deck to make it a little bit more viable. Because I think that Layer of Darkness plus Viruses, it's insane. I mean, especially since everything becomes dark. This replay actually errors out here. But now that you guys have seen it in action, I want to give you guys 2 different deck profiles. We even have the Tribe Infecting Virus. Now, this deck is all about the virus. But there is like the plant variant that I also want to show off because I think that because they work well with each other, you can kind of mix them up together as well. But let's go ahead and go over the first deck profile, and shout out to my boy Tsubasa for building these decks. I think that they are actually pretty cool. There's another card I didn't get to go over, but it has been seeing a lot of play in Yu-Gi-Oh, especially in the OCG, is Titan Osider over here. So you get to target a face-up monster your opponent controls that was special summon from the extra deck. You get to change the attack to 0 and negate its effects, and if your opponent summons a monster from the extra deck while this card's in your graveyard, except for the turn it was in the graveyard, you get to reset this card. This card is absolutely amazing. It doesn't even have its effect like banish. Like this effect is probably one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards in a long time that it's like just super generic that you can play. But anyways, we got 2 copies of Neos, then Rainbow Dragon, Neos Wiseman, and of course your U-Bell for your targets. You can drop this engine completely. I honestly think going for Dragon is probably more competitive, but again, you can drop it out completely. And then 3 copies of the Darkest Diablos. And then 3 copies of Arima, 2 copies of Tribe Infecting Virus, which is pretty cool because you could declare it one type of the monster and just get rid of everything. Like I said, with DNA transplant and surgery, if you wanted to go ahead and throw those in to convert them to plant, there's also another few set of cards that I do want to mention. I'm just going to actually type it in right now before I forget, which is Fragrance Storm. So like I said, since you're going to bring back things and it converts them to plants sometimes, and on top of that, it's like the Tree-Born Frog is basically free every turn for that deck. So if you want to, Fragrance Storm can be a great option as well, because if you happen to have a non-plant, you can just use one of the virus cards, tribute it, and then on top of that, you'd have no more left. But if you convert them all to plants, that's also another option, and you can go ahead and pop your opponent's card, and then you get to draw another card, because it says that you can target a plant monster on the field, destroy that target if you do draw 1 card. Then if that card is a plant type monster, you can reveal it and draw an extra card. So I don't think you can infinitely draw though. It only lets you draw potentially 2 cards because you can't like reveal draw plant and then reveal another. You can't infinitely do that. But if you do want to play with the plants, I think it's a really cool idea because once again, you're popping your opponent's cards because you're going to convert everything to plants, and then you draw a card. If it's a plant, you get another draw. So it could be like Pot of Greed basically, and you get to pop a card that your opponent has. Can't go wrong with that. Anyways, next up we have Duke Shade, the King of the Umbra. We got 3 copies of Lilith. This one had Gradles in it as well. We didn't get to see them come out because I guess the viruses were all destroying them. But if they get rid of all the viruses, you still have, I guess, alternative methods here. But then we've got the thing of Critias over here, Regeki Neos Fusion, 2 copies of Desires, and then the Card Destruction. We got 3 copies of Super Poly, Quarantine, 3 copies of Lair, 3 copies of Full Force Virus. We got the Waking the Dragon, 2 copies of Grave Hole. This card is actually going to be insane with Durendal later when we get the new Master Rule in the TCG. This is going to change things a lot. And then we have 2 copies of Deck Devastation Virus, 2 copies of Eradicator Epidemic, 2 copies of Titan Cider, 2 copies of Lost Wind, 2 copies of Trap Trick, 2 copies of Ballista Squad, 2 copies of Greening Grave Virus, and 2 copies of Compulse. For the extra deck, we got Rainbow Neist, Plant Triff, we got the World Chalice, Guard Dragon Almarduk, and then we got Neos Kluger, we got Starving Venom, and then Drago Stapelia, 2 copies of the Flower Cardian, Light Shower, and Light Flare, and then of course your target for your Waking the Dragon. Then we got Codebreaker Virus, Berserker, Virus Swordsman, Police Patrol, and of course the Pearl Platinum Verde Anaconda. You guys can see like it was the virus was like the whole like I guess theme of it, which is obviously, you know, what's going around now, everyone's quarantined. It was a cool idea. I like it. It was kind of like a themed Yu-Gi-Oh deck, but I think we can make this deck a lot better. But I'll get into some of the suggestions here. So the other person that was playing like the plant variant, and again, you can kind of mix these in together if you wanted to. You probably would need to drop again your target for the Predaplant because you'd have a lot of consistency issues. But we've got basically the same lineup for the Neos Kluger, and then we've got the Titaniel, Princess of Camellias. We've got 2 copies of the Talia, the Princess of Cherry Blossoms. And then Sprite Helioboros, 2 copies of that, 3 copies of Snowdrop, 1 copy of Erica, 2 copies of Sprite Peony, 2 copies of Cyclan, 2 copies of Sprite Prim, and then 3 copies of Scorpio, 1 Darling Cobra, 3 copies of Lonefire, 3 copies of Petal, 2 copies of the Neos Fusion, and then Trial and Tribulation. This has a lot of potential here with some of the tributing. So you can only activate 1 of them per turn, and then you get to apply this effect depending on the number of cards that were tributed from the field and from your hand, except for tokens. So if it's 1, you get to draw a card. 2, you get to add 2 monsters from your graveyard to your hand. 3, destroy up to 3 face-up cards on the field. I actually really like that second effect to add 2 monsters from your graveyard to your hand. Again, this is just one of those cards that just didn't get shown off in the replay. But since you can Lone Fire into whatever card you want, you get to add back like double Lone Fire. That's actually a pretty good effect, obviously. And then 3 copies of Stunning Snowflower, which just lets you go ahead and tribute a plant monster. Remember, again, Lair of Darkness, tribute your stuff if you want to run DNA's Transplant and Surgery. I think it's a cool option. And then we got Terraforming, then we got Rosebell of Revelation over here, so let's let you just search out 1 from your deck, and then Master Rule, and then Super Poly, Frozen Roars, 3 copies of that, and Set Rotation, Swirling Snowflowers, Lair of Darkness, 2 copies of that, 2 copies of Silent Snowflower, and 3 copies of Snowflower Sheet. So I think it's a cool mix-up for, again, tag duels, but I really like this idea of this deck. I think the Gradles are definitely a excellent addition here, but I want to say that you can make this deck a lot better if you wanted to go ahead and once again drop the Neos engine. I know the whole thing is about Virus, but I know there's going to be people that want to make this deck a little bit competitive, so I'll give you guys some suggestions here. I also think that Compulses, it's actually getting quite better in the TCG and OCG for the new Master Rule. But I think this would help out the deck significantly if you wanted to focus more around the viruses that are actually good. Did we drop? Yeah, I'd say Quarantine. Unfortunately, it's just not too good, but let's go ahead and move this out of the way as well. I feel like Regeki is kind of redundant. If you really need to break boards, tributing your opponent's stuff is great. And I also still think that if you want to run like cards like Set Rotation, I hate mentioning this because I hate this card, but you have to Mystic Might. Mystic Mine is so incredibly strong still, it automatically forces a negate out of your opponent. You can also try out cards like Dark Ruler No More, because that will stop all of their effects, and then you can just immediately start tributing them for your own effects as well. So I think that that could be a great option. Or you can also throw in, of course, copies of Nibiru, then convert it to Dark, and then the Nibiru will be still relatively strong, so you can tribute it and get a lot of bonus stats from that. So I think that's a great addition as well. Let me just go ahead and... oops, if I could spell. Okay, I think Nibiru, like I said, it's great because, again, you're converted to Dark, then you can use all of your virus cards with it to make this a little bit more competitive, because I know there are people that want to make it competitive, but I know that also the original idea was the ultimate virus deck, even though we didn't see most of these, like, the extract monsters. They're just not that viable because it requires Codebreaker, but... for the most part, I mean, you could make this card. Let me go over these effects because we didn't get to show them off. Again, that's just kind of for the theme anyways. So anyways, it requires 2 effect monsters, which I guess at this point, then you can make this. But anyways, when this card is special summon and is now co-linked, you can special summon a Codebreaker 0-day from your hand, deck, or graveyard to any zone a linked monster points to. But during the end phase of this card was in the graveyard because it was destroyed by an opponent's card and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And then the Codebreaker Virus Berserker over here has the effect where when this card is special summoned and is now co-linked, you can special summon to 2 Codebreaker monsters from your hand or graveyard to any zone link monster points to, and then during your main phase you can destroy spells and traps your opponent controls up to the number of linked Codebreaker monsters on the field. Again, it's not viable. For the most part, you want to keep these monsters. You tribute them for these effects, and then I guess you'll be a-okay anyways. But that's the deck. That's the Virus and Snow Plant deck mix up. Again, you can mix them both up if you wanted to into one, although you'd probably have some consistency issues. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed seeing something new here with the tag duels. I think there's probably a lot more videos we can do where we're like people are teaming in tag duels and you run 2 decks that have a lot of synergy. And I thought this was a cool little mix up, and of course, it's all about the virus, let's be honest here. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on some more tag duels in the future. And if you guys want to send me in other replays of cool tag mix-ups, it doesn't have to be meta because, like I said, sometimes people get tired of seeing the same decks over and over, and I like to see newer stuff as well. But feel free to send in the replay file to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in, and once again, shout out to my boy Tsubasa for hooking me up with the deck profiles. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.